Alright guys, it is Sunday. Appears to be almost 11 o'clock. And we're going to get cracking on this truck here. So far, you guys can see that. I use drip check sealer down in that groove to kind of help hold off anything that might pop back up. I did that to all four doors, and I'm going to put you guys on the stand here. That stuff is a one-part sealer. Comes in one of those little metal tubes. 3M. And basically, I'm about ready to go here. I got to get it a little warmer, but I'm going to seam seal this and then crank the heat back up. So what I'm going to do, normally I would take these seams off, but you don't see them. So I'm just going to run a bead down there and wipe it with the acid brush. This is one part seam sealer, which is all I have right now. I'm out of two part, so I'm going to use it until it's gone. This stuff reminds me of latex caulk almost. Let's see if that's enough. You can use your finger to do this too. I just choose not to put gloves on to do this. You really don't have a ton of working time with this either. I'll go just a little bit heavier with that. Stuff's a little bit cold this morning. try and do it one wipe on the other side. And this is ready for paint. This does not need to be primed over. But you have to let it probably set up for a little while. The two-part is a little bit quicker. I think in about 20 minutes you could probably paint that stuff. Normally I wouldn't go over it this many times, but I got too much on there, so I'm trying to pick some of it up and take it back off. The other thing you can do is wet your finger just like you would with any other caulk with a glove on. That's about all the fussing I can do with that. So that seam is done. Put you guys here. And we'll do this side. I suppose there's not really any law that says you have to brush it out. That's just the way I like to do it. And that's about all I'm going to do with that. Give you guys a quick peek at that. I'm going to bring me back when I start painting. We'll see. Ooh, excuse me. I'm also messing around with my panel beater machine here. I've never bought a brand new battery for this thing, and I don't know what exactly the issue is with it, but it doesn't seem to stay engaged long enough. The solenoid clicks on and clicks off super fast, even when you have it set on the longest setting. So either that timer's crapped out, or the voltage in that battery is so low that it won't keep the solenoid engaged. So the charger, I had it on for a while, but this is an old battery. It was a hand-me-down from my neighbor, and the one that was in it when I got it was just absolutely fried. It wouldn't take any charge. But this one might have a dead cell or something in it, and every time you engage it, it might be wearing out. So what I was doing is I was jumping out the solenoid and holding the electrode on the metal there, and it still didn't seem to want to weld to it. So that's telling me that that maybe that battery is crapped out. I did use it when I repaired the tailgate on my Super Duty, and I left this big rollaway charger hooked to it the whole time, and it seemed to work good for about 10 pulls, and then it quit working again. So I'm very suspicious of that battery. I don't think the charger is enough if you have a crap battery in there to supplement the power supply. So, alright, I'll bring you guys back in a little bit. Alright guys, as you can see, there is now black seam sealer on those seams. One part wasn't drying fast enough, and I'm not that patient. I want this done today, so I did have enough 2-part left in my container left over from the rockers that I was able to get a smear on there. So that stuff has been allowed to set for the appropriate amount of time. I think it's 15 or 20 minutes. It's been on there at least an hour, so it's good to go because it's catalyzed. I'm going to throw some sealer down on this panel. This gun right here, which is my Jet 3000. using my base coat gun for sealer, but it cleans out pretty quick, so. Especially with this XXX gun cleaner here. Stuff works good. I'll just let a little bit of that set in there. And we're going to move right on down the line here to the touch-up gun, and I'm going to put some base coat in that and get the doors base coated before I switch over to base coating that bed. Squirt any thinner in that. Put the sealer away. That needs 20 to 30 minutes to set. It's about 75 in the shop. Someday I'll buy myself a paint shaker and then probably not use it. So I'll get that mixed up and I will turn you guys back on here in a minute when I get everything set up and ready to go. See ya. Alright, it's paint time for the back of this bed. I've been working on the door jambs, getting some base on them. There's nowhere for me to set up the camera, and I'm not very good at holding the camera and painting at the same time, so we'll get you guys set up for this. Alright, I'm going to let that fog clear out a little bit. It's not too bad, it's just base coat. But red is one of those colors when you spray it, it looks like it's horrible. I think I mixed 20 ounces to do both doors and in the back of the bed. So that was 10 ounces of base and then 10 ounces of reducer, 1-to-1. This is Matrix Premium Base. So let's see, I'm sure the fog isn't cleared quite yet. The fan's not quite that fast. Yeah, we're not too bad. I'll mask up here and we'll see what we got. Alright, that's enough of that. I'm going to let that flash off. I'm going to go watch a video, and I may bring you back for round 2, or I may bring you in for the clear, so we'll see what happens. See you later, guys. Alright guys, I got the plus here ready for this back panel of the bed, ready for some clear. I'm going to go around and make sure I get some clear underneath all my edges up here, and then I'll go and along the bottom edges, and then I'll go for it. I can already see that's not going to be enough clear to do that back panel. So we'll mix up just a little smidgen more, and that should do the trick. This is a 4-to-1 And I think we're going to go about another 6 ounces. This gun isn't super efficient, but it does put the clear down real nice. And I've got it about 80 degrees in there, so I'm only going to let that flash about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to pound it on there. That ought to be plenty. Now with these PPS liners, you got to make sure that this lid is snapped down into that bottom cup completely. Otherwise, when you invert it, put it on the gun, you'll have a big old mess. It's tight. Flip the gun over, clip it in, make sure the lid's tight, and I'll flip it back over, and we're going to wait 5 minutes. So I will turn you guys back on in 5. Coat number 2, final coat on this. Don't like that kind, range just a touch short. That's why you always go a little extra. Here we go. Okay, so we'll take a look at that in a minute. You can see I did something I probably shouldn't have done, but with this MS-30 clear, when it's warm out, you can almost back-to-back it with your coats. And because I ran out, I didn't want to have a dry edge in there. Not that it matters, because nobody's ever going to see it. You know, it's going to be on the back of the, facing the back of the cab, so what the heck. But this gun, my friends, is a pounder, but it'll put it on to flow. That's a 1.4 tip. I keep threatening to put the 1.3 in it and try it. That would have probably been a good spot to try it, is on the back of that. Put some wash in that and let that set. So I'll go ahead and show you how that's flowing out. It isn't going to flow a whole ton more than what it already has. It's a little peely in the middle, but I really didn't block that primer out. I just scuffed it down. So there you are. I mean, it's shiny, and it's, I'm going to put my mask back on. You can see there where the edge was smooth and not rough from the primer that it laid down nice. So that's where I'm going to leave this, and I'll catch you guys when I'm all done. I still got the doors to do, but I don't have anywhere to put you. So I'll catch you in a minute. Alright guys, it's about an hour later, maybe a little less, and it's 85 degrees in here right now. This clear is done doing what it's going to do. Oh, what's that? Yeah, I got a little dripper coming off that corner that I smushed out with my finger. The only one. I can handle that. Actually, I take that back. I think I did the door behind me too. Oh yeah, there's a soupy sagger right in the corner. But all in all, not bad. I can live with it. I won't be sanding it out, I can tell you that. But jams turned out good. And front of the bed turned out good. Bring the camera or the light over here. Hang on, let me shut you guys down for a second. Yep, she turned out good. Particularly happy with the way the sides turned out, because you won't see any of this. And the top rail, I will probably end up scuffing that down and putting spray-on bed liner on the top rail anyway. I just wanted the paint to wrap up around this corner right here so that you couldn't see it. And then when I put the box back on, the little bit of whatever I got creeping around the side there from backmasking it, I will blend that off, and we'll backmask on the back side, and all you'll see is the nice panel on the sides of the truck. That's what I'm talking about. So that was the DeVilbiss Plus with the 1.4 tip in it at about 38 psi. And I'm going to try the 1.3 the next time I do something small in here, because it almost seems like I'm maybe a little fast on the material. I can always cut it back and try it that way, but then my process is going to slow down too, so I don't know. I'll probably stick with the 1.4. It's a quick one, so hope you guys enjoyed that little snippet. I'll be talking at you on the mumble tonight, so you can save your questions for then, or you can post them on the page when the video goes up. So, all right, guys, there it is. Woo, woo. As Tommy Shoe would say, it sounds like the happy train's coming. Bed's going back on. See ya.